Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs on the YouTube. Dave here in the garage. Area 51. Back this week, finally. Bomb truck is running, driving mostly. But yeah, time to revisit this thing. So let's get at it. Okay, so the old bomb truck's been I'm so used to talking about that thing at the moment. The old Area 51's been so neglected over the last probably 3 months because if you've been following the channel and watching the updates on the bomb truck out there and the 383 and what happened with all of that, I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, the bomb truck has been taking up the majority of my time and resources and that to get that back on the road somewhat. And now we're left over with all the bits and bobs. But yeah, we've been itching to get back onto this. I kind of initially just left it where it was to get the truck ready to take to the nostalgia drags, and then of course all the engine shit happened and the rest is history. But finally I'm gonna dust this thing off because, like, as you can see, she's been accumulating a bit. God, man, it gets messy in here pretty quick when you're not even doing really typically messy stuff. Yeah, so I've got to figure out where I'm at with this. I've got to clear some room. I want to get all of this shit off my bench. I've just got such a shortage of storage as usual. I don't know where to put it all, but I don't want it on the bench while I'm doing the next stage on the old Area 51. So I've got to find some homes for all of that crap, have a bit of a clean up, get this thing leveled out again, and I'm going to put these red steelies on there since they all hold air, hopefully, and keep it rolling and stuff like that. So let's yeah, I'll get ahead and I'll do a bit of cleaning up and whatnot, and then we'll have a bit of a walk around this and see where it's at. Honestly, I can't remember what my next sort of step was, but yeah. Also, a little update on the bomb truck. You'll see the Holly sitting on the bench again. I took it last week. I didn't do any filming and stuff like that last weekend. We had our Hot Rod Club's Winter Blast event, which was cold, hence the name Winter Blast. And yeah, I took the truck on it, did a good run on the Saturday, and it went okay and stuff, but it started kind of running a bit rough kind of by the end of the weekend. And having a look at the carb this morning, it was leaking and all that sort of shit again. So I quickly changed back to the Edelbrock this morning, and yeah, it's running smooth again, sort of thing. So this old carb might need a bit more knowledge going through it than what I've got at the moment. It was leaking out of the accelerator pump again. Well, that was new actually. But yeah, I don't know. So it's off. Edelbrock's back on there. I'd rather it ran a little rich than a little rough, if you know what I mean, for now. May look at rejetting, as another mic I think it was suggested. Rejetting the Edelbrock, just bringing it down a little bit, but it actually goes quite good and smooth with it on there. I'm theoretically thinking it's a little rich, but yeah, other than that, she went pretty good. No weird vibrations, weirder than usual, just the usual rattle from under the dash, and that weird rattling, that's still there. I don't know what it is. It's got me stumped. I'm just going to run it. We'll see what happens. But anyway, so let's get on to this, the Area 51 project. Finally. Alrighty, so cleared some space. Got all the 383 remnants are all buried under that drop cloth over there, so to be forgotten. No, I've got to do something about that sooner rather than later, like get it looked at. Here he is, old Flatty McFlat coming to the party. This one here is not a lot better. Let's get some air in these tyres, get it up so I can jack it up and swap these out. That'll do us. Just need enough to get the jack under the cross member so I can get this thing up in the air and have a look at these red rims. Hopefully they'll stay up. Picked these up a few months back on Marketplace, got them for a really good price. We've got like 3 similar patterns. I think this one here is obviously had a bad wheel alignment at some point, so we'll chuck that on the back, and then one Mr. Oddball, which is a Linglong Crosswind, and the others are Kumo. So yeah, don't think they're made locally, but they're 205 75 15, so we'll chuck those on and just as rollers for now. The rims are in really good order, that's why I bought them. Not worried about the tires, or these got flappers. These are just like those things. And like I say, I'm not worried about the tires at this point. I just want to have rollers that stay up. I could have gone and taken that one off and got it fixed, but I found the rims for a good, like I said, for a good price, so I just grabbed them. But we'll put them on and see what it looks like with red rims, in the very pale grey epoxy. Nice. I don't normally do this. I think I might have to put it on. I've got the jack under the diff head at the moment, so I think I need to put axle stands under it and lower the jack to get it to come down. Take 2. So that gives us enough. Yes. Oh boy. I had to let a little bit of air out of this one to get it in there. This is the odd tyre, this is the Linglong. I don't know why it would be any wider. It is. Just chucking a bit of air in these. They were all low, obviously. I don't know how long they've been off a car for, but they all were holding air pressure, but just not a lot. So I'm just airing them up a bit, then we'll drop it down on the ground and see what it looks like. Alrighty, so that's it with those slightly smaller tyres on. The back tyres actually still hit the inner wheel tub, so it won't roll when it's completely laid out, which is a bit of a pain, so I'm going to have to space up the bump stops, because here in New Zealand we have to have, it has to be able to roll. if there's a total system failure with the air ride and stuff like that. So you have to have limited steering and limited movement sort of thing. So if it completely collapses, massive failure, it still can roll. There's a calculation for ground clearance for steering and suspension components and stuff, which I have been through before on this channel. It's basically half the sidewall. If you got bigs and littles, you got to kind of add them together and divide it by 2 and all that kind of stuff, and that's your minimum scrub height. But as it sits at the moment, there's some stuff is kind of really low, so I'm not sure whether I'd get it past our cert thing with it completely laid out. Well, it won't, because it won't roll, because the tyres are hitting the inner rear tubs in the back, and I'll show you underneath. Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to see this, get some light on the subject. So that's the rear forelink there, and you can see the gearbox cross member is literally a credit card distance. The rivets are off, just touching the ground, so I'm going to have to raise the front slightly, and you can see the cross member up the front. That was the one I was worried about actually, but you can see right in the middle of the screen there roughly, that's the cross member. The height's Mustang 2, so that's about 3/4 of an inch off the ground, but it's the gearbox cross member. I'm pretty sure there's a rivet or something, hopefully you can see that. Is just about on the ground, and this one here is pretty close, so I'm going to have to make up spaces for the bump stops and bring them up, I don't know, maybe half an inch. I'll have a play around with bringing the ear up in the back and just see how much it takes before it'll move. So I might do that before I go any further, just out of curiosity. Right there. Simply is. Rubbing there. Okay, so just that little bit of air was enough to bring it up, that it'll kind of not bind up under here, like up in there. You can't see anything because it's dark, but I can't make that final determination until I've got glass and seats and interior and battery and the fuel tank and all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of just wasting my time really figuring that out right now because it's gonna get a little bit heavier between now and when it's finished. So I'll do that final calculation, make some spaces and stuff for the bump stops once I've got that far. Yeah. Okay, so I might just dust all this off and start kind of going around and having a look and see if we can find pinholes and stuff. I have been thinking maybe I need to kind of do a kind of shadow coat over the whole thing, and start rubbing back this epoxy to find all of that stuff. There's a couple of bits where I need to get some wax and grease remover onto, because I sort of splashed some stuff over on the other side, and probably here as well. I don't know what that is. Black stuff on there. Bits where I've chipped and scratched it and stuff already. Like over here, I knocked something over and scratched it in there. There's still a bit of work to do on these areas down here just to even them out a bit. There's a couple of chips and scratches that I put into it. Don't know how far I'll go as far as trying to get that perfect finish, because of my plan for not having a perfect finished paint job anyway. Like, I don't know whether I've got the patience for that, to be honest. Anyway, I'm going to dust this off and see if I can yeah, make it a bit more presentable. Okay, so it's all wiped down. Been round it twice with the wax and grease remover stuff. It's quite a good way to kind of get a good look at it again, to sort of find all sorts of things like, you know, there's pinholes and a couple of gouges. So I remember doing that. That was my last skim, you know, obviously, and I sort of thought, right, I'm not gonna try another skim over the top because I was kind of happy with the overall shape and everything, so I left it at that. But now I have to go back in and just skim those pinholes and stuff. I noticed a little bit of unsanded bog and stuff down here, and battery died, but yeah, like, you know, a whole bunch of pinholes and stuff like that, you know, everywhere. And you know, with me dragging things past here, I'm banging it around and scratching things and stuff. There's pinholes up through here, as well as overspray from something else, sanding marks and all sorts of stuff. There's a mess up here that I made when the paint was wet, so I've got to sand that back and see what I left under there. I think there was a high spot here or something like that, so it needs a little bit of a skim from memory. You know, there's little pinholes in that down through here. There's stuff all through this door. This is the worst door. You know, just lots of little stuff, but I've got to figure out the best approach to sort of hit it all at. Like, I don't want to go mad running around the whole car. I'll sort of probably try and do it sort of area by area, you know, roof, get that done, then, you know, deck lid, sail, you know, rear valance and stuff, you know, do a quarter, do a door, somehow, I don't know, I'll figure it out. Anyway, I'm hungry, lunchtime. Alrighty, so just been in done in some guide coating stuff, just with some flat rattle can lacquer sort of things, just to kind of get me, hopefully find some pinholes and scratches and stuff. So I'm gonna run over it with the DA just for the initial cut, you know. I have to get around all the edges and stuff by hand, but yeah, I like kind of just using some 180, I think. It might be a little on the heavy side, but like I say, it's pretty dry up there. I just want to kind of cut it down and see what we're working with. Okay, so this is the sort of thing I'm looking for. See that little black thing there? That's a little hole in the bit of filler that's in that area. Over here, we've got a little dip here and a little dip here. They were from, I think, welding up trim holes or something. I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe a little bit of pinholage. There's a little pinholey thing there. A little one down in there as well, which I've already tried to get that one but missed, but that's alright. So I'm just going to mix up a little bit of, I've actually got a two-part glaze, really fine glaze, so I might give that a try in the real most visible place, the roof. And I've used that before, and just do some really fine little bits of filler into these areas, and while that's going off I can head off over the other side and start sanding over there. Yeah, but yeah, hey, like, you wouldn't think that guide coat was much of a dusting, but certainly on there. Ready to go, I reckon. Okay, so sanded, knocked down the other side with some 150. I gave up on the DA because it's a bit cumbersome and I wasn't getting as even of a result as I would have liked. So I just switched back to my kind of vacuum blocks. This one here I bought a little while back. I had only just used it for the first time. It's one of those adjustable jobbies, but I've taken the traffic. It's one of those adjustable ones, but I took the little adjuster thing out of it, so it kind of flexes, so I can kind of push and kind of flex it to get it over around curves and stuff like that. I'll try and show you. Hang on. So like, I can kind of manually push it down, It doesn't vacuum up as good as these ones. It doesn't have as many holes in it, so I don't know whether if I drilled extra holes in it whether it would help or anything, but probably not. You know what I'm saying? But it keeps some of the dust down anyways. Yeah, but anyway, carry on sanding. Anyway, as I was saying, gonna carry on sanding. Not really terribly riveting stuff, but can't really make that kind of exciting YouTube content. So I'll just do some sanding. What I'm doing now is just going to go around and sand these little bits of spot filler that I've done. Done a couple of bits here. I've got to find them all, and I've already put some in the other side, so that's curing now. So I can come and sand these, and then that'll be the roof pretty much ready for high build primer. Most of the scratches and stuff are kind of leveling out with the epoxy because it's quite a thick epoxy in places. In other places not so much. But yeah, so we shall carry on sanding. Okay, so I went round and kind of did the whole thing in the bit of a guide coat, just so it looks a little different. You can kind of see where you've been, if you know what I'm saying. And just squared a little bit of a spot prime on the rub throughs, just with some rattle can stuff. Not very good stuff, quite splattery. Probably didn't shake it enough. And yeah, so I'm just kind of keep moseying along, sanding and filling things and sanding things. So yeah, let's get at it. Carry on, I should say. Yeah. Okay, so that's coming to the end of day one of being back on the Area 51 project, and I'm sick of sanding already. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. It's a dusty job, it's clean dirt. But yeah, we kind of got through the roof, trunk lid, rear roll pan, and one rear quarter. I haven't done any spot filler on these areas yet. I've just kind of got the sand done on those, so I might maybe tomorrow, maybe I'll do the spot filler on those first. There's not much actually. I kind of, a couple of bits I actually got early with some leftover from when I was doing the roof. So there's there was something down here. I really should have a pencil handy and circle. There's a few little bits down here, a couple little bits up here, a couple of bits on the top of there. Nothing too dramatic, I don't think, but you know, you kind of find all sorts of stuff after you get some more paint back on things, you know. So, but that's all right. I'm not overly concerned if it's not laser straight. But yeah, till tomorrow. Hey guys, so next day, I can't remember what I filmed last night before I finished up, but I've just been round and done a bit of like little spot fills and that. You can see my footprints basically. Lots of little pinholes and a few little low spots and things like that, but nothing too dramatic. It's hard to know, or hard for me to know exactly how much the high build's going to catch. So I'm kind of trying to get as much of it as I can find. Like, as I was saying before my battery died, half of this I couldn't even see last night. I don't know whether I was getting a bit cross-eyed and stuff like that, but found a heap more little bits and bobs this morning that I didn't notice last night, but there you have it. But yeah, I'm going to carry on, get through the rest of this quarter and into this door and that rocker, or sill as they're known here in New Zealand, and yeah, just keep working my way through it. Exciting stuff. Okay, so that's the boot lid, that rear valance thing, and this quarter kind of pinhole trapped and chased and whatnot and sanded. I've just been spraying some of that rattle can 1K primer on there, kind of not really to seal it because I know it's porous, but it also kind of will help me like just put something over those rub throughs into the steel, because I don't know when this will actually get its full 2K primer, high build primer on there, hopefully in the next few weeks, but that'll get mostly sanded off again anyway, but it's just to kind of like show me where I'd rub through the epoxy, you know what I mean? Rather than mixing up more epoxy and squirting that all over the place, and it goes on real texturey and I have to sand it all again anyway. But yeah, not a great rattle can, but it's kind of yeah, it gives me that cow. Looks like a big cow now, big white and grey cow, like moo cow, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, keep sanding. Update. Okay, so got that far. I'm gonna head on to this front fender now and maybe the hood, and there's a little bit of stuff to do up on the top of the firewall lower windscreen area, mostly on the other side I think, from memory, which is a bit questionable. Yeah, so carrying on. We're about halfway through this stage and it takes a long time. And look, I got primer overspray on my red wheel, so I might just grab some lacquer thinners and see if I can clean that off before it kind of sets up hardcore. Okay. Oh, that was unintentional. Little love heart on the front of the hood. But yeah, over halfway through now. It's getting it to this stage. Not too much in the way of pinholes and stuff in the front fender. Didn't find any in that side of the bonnet, hood, whatever you want to call it, which was a good thing. But yeah, there's quite a lot in the eyebrow on the old on the front guard, but not a lot in the other spots, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, working our way through it, getting a bit, I don't know, maybe I'm getting a bit kind of cross-eyed or something. I'm not 100% sure whether I'm missing pinholes, because I get to a certain point and my eyeballs get tired or something and I can't always see the little things anymore when you've been staring at this thing. But yeah, we're getting there. So carry on. What's going on here? This is all tangled up. Which is a bit dark over this side of the car, so I sort of rigged up my lamp light thing over here, which will be gooder than working in the dark. I wouldn't mind getting some of those wheel dollies so I can sort of roll it across into the middle of the garage when we kind of get closer to painting, you know, now that the bomb truck can move and easily without me having to push it. Again, more gooder. But yeah, so carry on. Gonna go and have some lunch. It'll be quite cool to get this done by the end of today to the same point, you know, get both sides kind of where they're at, you know. And then hopefully next week, where am I getting water from? Is it coming from my mask or something? I don't know. I'm getting drips of water from somewhere. A compressor line's nowhere near there, but yeah, it's real weird. I noticed it earlier. Nothing coming from the roof that I can see. No. I don't know. Lunch. Anyway, lunchtime. Okay, so lunch has been had. I'm just going to leap ahead and, well, I'm going to just keep plodding away at this side. Try and get this knocked out today, hopefully, maybe. Okay, let's do it. Oh, also, if it's your first time here, or you're new here and you haven't subscribed, or if you thought you had subscribed, just go and check that you have subscribed and hit the button, hit the notifications bell if you want to get notified. That would be awesome. So yeah, thanks. On with the show. Okay, the, I don't know, leopard spotted Area 51. It just looks like I've gone around with a rattle can. In the end I was using a spray gun because I ran out of rattle can primer, so I just mixed up some primer and to squirt those kind of bare spots and bits of exposed bog-ish. Yeah, that's been a pretty gargantuan comeback on the old Area 51 project this weekend. I have to admit I'm a bit beat up, and full credit to those guys who work in the panel and paint industry, panel beaters, spray painters, body techs, whatever you want to call them. This is hard work, punishing, but there's probably more efficient ways of doing it than how I go about it. You did send that, sweet. Squirrel. Yeah, but yeah, so the whole body, not all the door jambs and inside the doors and things like that, has now been rubbed back, pinhole chased, and yeah, spot primed. I was still gonna go over the whole thing again with some maybe 320 or something, 240, 320, I don't know yet, I haven't really decided, but whatever I've got, and yeah, kind of rub back those spot primer sort of stuff. I just put that on there just to kind of put something over the top until we're ready to shoot the 2K high build primer, which hopefully will be in the next couple of weeks, maybe even next weekend, depending on how we go. Like I say, I've still got a lot of sanding to do. That final sand will be a pretty quick one, just over the whole car. But I've still got to get in and do all the door jambs and the boot lip and then the bonnet and stuff. But I've got to take the front guards off next, I guess, because I've got to sand up the inside and paint up the inside parts of those, and there's a bit of work on the upper firewall I've got to do before then. That's probably what's going to be next. Yeah, front guards off, get into that inner firewall part that I've got to redo, and yeah, sand all those finicky bits and around the door jambs and stuff like that, and then mask it all off again and hit it with the high build, and then more sanding. Yeah, I don't know, yeah, exciting stuff. Anyway, got to clean up, put some stuff away, put the bomb truck back in here, and then we'll go from there. Oh, winner by a nose. Yeah, so that's where we're going to leave this exciting episode. I know it's probably not that riveting for a lot of folk, just sanding, red wheels. Hey, what do you think? Be ashamed to paint over them because the powder coat on them is in really good order. I don't think there was ever much miles put on these wheels before they were swapped out after being powder coated. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, heaps done. So like a lot of sanding. I don't think I've got any fingerprints left. You tried to use the blocks as much as possible, big blocks and the little blocks, and had to do some bits I just have more control doing it by hand. I know there's that risk of running grooves and stuff in there with your fingers and shit like that, but I tend to move around in circles and back and forth and all over the place, and never just backwards and forwards, because that's where you get the groove, you know. You get the groove, wrong kind of groove. But yeah, so here we have it. To you guys it probably doesn't look a whole lot different, but to me it does. Yeah, it's really evened out, really flattened down. A lot of orange peel in that epoxy primer that I put on there. Yeah, it was, yeah, still trying to dial in how to spray that stuff, but it's a good thick coat though, because it was actually very forgiving with my scratches and stuff. And as I was sanding through the guide coat in places, I instantly could see heavy scratches, but I was able to sand like most of it out without even getting through that epoxy. So, you know, Some of it obviously got down into the metal again or into the bog, but yeah, for the most part it was pretty forgiving, so yeah, quite happy about that. And yeah, so it's not going to be laser straight, so don't get all it's not going to be perfect. I know that for a fact, and there's bound to be stuff that I've missed. I actually felt something up on here when I was working on it, and I thought I'm not even going to bother trying to re-skim the roof and things like that. I don't know, I'll just don't look at it in the light. But yeah, for the most part, I'm pretty happy with it. There's, you know, a few blemishes and things and stuff like that, but managed to find most of the little pinholes and a few little nicks and a couple of little dents. And what I found interesting though was, like, you know, blocking down the doors with the big blocks and the, you know, the front guards areas where I could use those long blocks, was finding low spots and high spots that I thought I'd dealt with when I did the prep and the filler and stuff on those pieces, you know. So just goes to show, like, I don't know really what it goes to show, but it, you know, it like shows some stuff. Shows some stuff I missed last time I was standing on those pieces. Anyway, that's where we're going to leave this one. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, that'll be awesome. Like, share, comment, whatever. Hit the notifications bell if you want to get notified as to when new videos are coming out. Try to post weekly. Occasionally I might chuck a second one up midweek, but most of the time it's weekly, because I've only got a couple of days, unless I start working nights down here, and I'm just too old for that shit. I might start doing it once we start getting into wiring and things like that, but yeah, for noisy, dirty stuff, yeah, got to think about my neighbours as well. You know, compressors and, you know, things like that running, they probably wouldn't like that much. But yeah, so I try to get one video up a week, usually on a Monday New Zealand time, which I think works out maybe Sunday in lots of other parts of the world, because we get days before other people, something like that. Yeah, but till next week when we carry on sanding and stuff. Thanks for watching. Take it easy and peace.